Thank you very much, Nicolas, and thank you very much, and very nice introduction, and also thank you very much for invitation me. First of all, let me apologize two things. One thing is I tried to translate my PowerPoint from Japanese to English, but I didn't have enough time to do that. So I'm really sorry. I will do my lecture with Japanese version of my PowerPoint. I will explain what I wrote in this PowerPoint in English, but let me do this presentation with Japanese PowerPoint. And second thing is, this is not apologize, but this is advertisement. As Nicolas said, most of my discussion today come from my new book titled as this is a little bit shocking title because Bunkei Gakubu Haishi no Shogeki is and this book is one book from the Yoshimi Shinsho, and it will appear day after tomorrow. So if you're interested in my discussion, please buy this. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me start my discussion. As Nicolas already explained, last summer, many newspapers and magazines report that Ministry of Education declared or announced that the Department or Faculty of Humanities and Social Science should be abolished in near future, because especially in a national university, Faculty of Humanities and Social Science should abolish or disappear. So, of course, journalism and newspaper and even the, and also scientists and scholars and even the economic, the industry, accuse or criticize that kind of declaration or that kind of announcement. So it was relatively big debate in last June and July and August. So first of all, the first part of my discussion is what happened in last summer. What is the real story or what is the context of this debate? I show two newspapers. One is Asahi Shimbun and the other is Nihon Keizai Shimbun. Asahi Shimbun and Yomiuri Shimbun. I'm sorry, Yomiuri Shimbun and Asahi Shimbun. So Asahi Shimbun has a report that in June, in Japanese, Kokuritsu Dai Bunkei Minaoshi, and I will explain. And in Yomiuri Shimbun, in August, they reported that Kokuritsu, so 26 university in national university, the Bunkei, so the Humanities and Social Science department, in some case, abolished or in some case, integrated with some other department. So that kind of reports expanded last summer. So what happened? So I will show the genealogy or timeline of the newspaper article. So first article which mentioned about this incident was Sankei Shimbun in May 28th. So in Sankei Shimbun, it is said that based on the Monbusho plan, the Ministry of Education plan, the Humanities and Social Science, the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, or some kind of reduction or integration is necessary, that kind of things. And in June 8th, Asahi Shimbun reported that the Faculty of Letters and Faculty of Sociology, these kind of the humanity faculty need to be abolished or transformed to the other kind of the faculties if they cannot produce the very effective or useful the new young generation. But maybe, I don't know, you know or not, in Japanese university, there is only one Faculty of Sociology. Sociology is very minor, how to say, discipline in National University. Only Hitotsubashi University has a Faculty of Sociology. No other university has Faculty of Sociology at all. Tokyo University, Kyoto University, and any university do not have the Faculty of Sociology. No. So, but maybe the Asahi Shimbun, the reporter, didn't know. And in June 19th, Mainichi Shimbun explained that now in the National University, the Bunke means the Humanities Social Science is in the crisis of disappear or vanish or abolish. And because Ministry of Education required that Humanities Social Science and teachers training faculty need to be abolished or transformed. And in June 25th, Tokyo Shimbun also reported that Ministry of Education has forced the university to the faculty of Humanities and Social Science to abolish or change. And the purpose of this policy is to oppress the criticism against the government, that kind of thing. And in this process, in July 23rd, the Nihon Gakujutsu Kaigi, the Academy of the Japanese Scholars, declared the opposition against the Ministry of Education. And also, in August, maybe you know better than me, the Wall Street Journal and many of the foreign media also reported that kind of thing. What is happening in Japan? And Ministry of Education is crazy because they try to destroy the Japanese humanities and social science. That kind of the report went all around the world, as you know. And finally, in September, Keidanren is the biggest, largest institute or associate of the industry in Japan. So Keidanren themselves oppose the Ministry of Education's such kind of announcement. So what happened? Because not only the Asahi or Tokyo Shimbun, the relatively left-wing or middle, the liberal, the newspaper, but also Yomiuri Shimbun, Nihon Keizai Shimbun, all kind of the newspaper tried to criticize the Ministry of Education, and also even the industry tried to criticize the Ministry of Education declaration. What happened? So let us consider this process in more in more detail or in more objectively, because you can understand, because in May, in case of Sankei Shimbun, they said the Ministry of Education they didn't use the Sankei Shimbun didn't use abolish or disappear. They only use the reduction and a kind of the integration. And in case of the June, Asahi Shimbun first used abolition. And in late June, Tokyo Shimbun and especially Tokyo Shimbun used the forced to abolish or something more strong, more strong expression they use. And so the expression of this or or explanation of this Ministry of Education declaration became, more stronger or more, emphasized and emphasized more and more. So please go to the, the first material. What happened in Ministry of Education first? Important thing is Ministry of Education already sent the completely same announcement 1 year before. It was not the first time in last summer. Because in 2015, June 8, Ministry of Education, the content of the Ministry of Education announcement was like this. Because 国立大学法人等の組織及び業務全般の見直しについて、it's completely impossible to translate in English. And in this Ministry of Education, how to say, for example, they wrote that, number 2, 特に教員養成系学部大学院、人文社会科系学部大学院について、18歳人口の減少や人材需要、教育研究水準の確保、国立大学としての役割等を踏まえた組織見直し計画を策定し、組織の廃止や社会的要請の高い分野の転換に積極的に取り組む。So, it was the content of the announcement. But almost same announcement was already, announced, already exist 1 year before. In 2014, August 8th, Ministry of Education already sent an announcement. And in that announcement, it was said that, ミッションの最低限を踏まえた速やかな組織改革として、特に教員養成系学部大学院、人文社会系学部大学院については、18歳人口の減少や人材需要、教育水準の確保、国立大学としての役割等を踏まえた組織見直し計画を策定し、組織の廃止や社会的要請の高い分野への転換に積極的に取り込むべき。I'm sorry, I cannot translate this complicated, very abstract and difficult bureaucratic word. But maybe you can understand. The word is almost same. Same announcement was already done in 2014. But in 2014, no response. And no opposition, and almost no resistance at all. In 2015, the big debate. So, what is the difference between 2014 and 2015? So, you can see the political situation in 2014 and 2015 is quite different. As you know, 2015, that summer in 2015, the Prime Minister Abe and the Abe government, has said, the Ampo Hose, the security treaty, the registration, that they strongly push, so they forced to, organize the Ampo Kanren Hoan, the security treaty registration. They push the strong push this registration, and also the Minister of Education personally forced the schools, even the university. He said the university should in some kind of ceremony, the university students should sing the Kimigai or something like that. And also there is a big debate about the Shinkoku new national stadium. So the political situation in the last summer is very difficult, especially for the government. And the newspaper and journalism and mass media are watching to find out that some kind of the material, some kind of the issue in which the journalism or the media can easily criticize, easily attack against the government. It was exactly that moment when the Minister of Education declared the announcement. So even the content was completely same as 2014. In 2014, no response. In 2015, big response because of the political situation. So, but this is not important point because there are another important issue which I want to explain. So, first point is from when that kind of the policy was started. It was not 2015, but it was 2014 or more, or 2013 or much before than that. Because many people, including the university president, including the industry headquarter people, or top people, or including many newspaper, said last summer that Minister of Education suddenly declared such kind of stupid announcement. But it was not true at all, because same declaration, same announcement was already done, clearly already done in 2014. So you need to go back at least 2014, or you need to go back before that. 2015, they did not suddenly announce in 2015. So to when we can go back the story. This is first point. And the second point is many professors and academics, especially professors in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, opposed that kind of declaration because they said, yes, humanity and social science cannot be so useful, but usefulness is not necessary. So humanity and social science, even the humanity and social science are useless. We have value to exist. I want to oppose this kind of idea. I cannot agree with this kind of the opposition against Minister of Education, against the declaration or against the announcement of the Minister of Education. Because later I will explain. I believe that humanity and social science are useful. They are not useless. They are useful. Why? I will explain. So there's a two point. One is there's a many point because many, of course, the announcement was very much problematic. But at the same time, opposition against the announcement also very much problematic, questionable. There is many problems. They have many problems. Not only the declaration, not only the announcement of the Minister of Education was problematic, but also the opposition against the Minister of Education was problematic, I think. So we need to think about the other way. So, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So, let me go back, the 2001, because Japanese National University was privatized, hojinka, so corporatized after 2004. Before that, the Minister of Education already declared or announced, or they said something similar to the announcement of last summer. Because, for example, 2001, Minister of Education, the policy for the restructuring the national university. The first point is they already declared the Faculty of teachers training faculties. 教員養成学部 is a 教育学部and so on. The education, faculty of education, and or University of Teacher Training. 教員養成系大学、何々教育大学 need to be reducted or need to be abolished because the number of the young population decreased continuously in Japan. So so the elementary schools, the number of the elementary school teachers and the junior and the high school teachers decrease. So we need to change the formation of the faculty of education, that kind of things. And secondly, the many small universities need to be integrated. And also this kind of integration should be done beyond the prefecture border. And also the number of the national universities should be decreased. That kind of thing. That kind of the policy was already started 2001. It was not 2015, it was 2001. And at the same time, 2013, Ministry of Education already showed that some of the the policy about the university mission, because in 2013, Ministry of Education requires all the national university to clearly to make clear about their mission. Every university, every national university should clearly show their mission as university. That kind of the requirement was already done 2013. So the process was already started 2001. It was not 2015, it was not 2014. It was started before the corporatization of universities. It's very much continuous. So if you try to criticize that kind of a policy, you need to start from 2001, not from 2015. But almost no newspaper and mass media explain about this continuous process. They criticize Ministry of Education as if such kind of announcement suddenly appeared in 2015. It was not true. And after the corporatization of universities, because this corporatization of Hojinka was done in 2004, and many negative results were already occurred. One thing is in 2010, the report by the Association of the National University, 国立大学協会, showed that after this corporatization, the number of the permanent faculties decreased rapidly, and number of the non-permanent faculties increased. And also, the faculty numbers, the professors, number of the professors and or associate professors, the number of the faculty in the field of humanity and social science decreased 11.4%. Although the number of the faculty of humanities, humanity and social science in private university increased 7.8%. So the number of the faculty in a national university decreased, and the private university increased. And also in national university, especially the funding and budget or outsourced funding increased. At the same time, the number of the articles and also the time for research decreased. So the faculty, university faculty, spend more time to get money and less time to research. This is a general tendency. So, and in this process, already from 2004 or early 2000, Faculty of Humanities and Social Science already, weakened. Gradually weakened. It was not strengthened. If I go back to the history, I lost my PowerPoint, but I need to explain. This imbalance already started from in-war period, from 1930s and 1940s. Because if you go back to the history of the National University, there are many process in terms of this balance between humanities, social science, and engineering, natural science. In early Meiji period, in 1860, 1870, 1890, the engineering faculties or engineering research was most important for Meiji Japan in early Meiji period. Because in order to develop the country, the industry is most important. So we need to import many knowledge of machine and city and technology, and so we need to import. The Japanese government and the Japanese people need to import the Western knowledge in early Meiji period. But after Japan-Russia war in 1905-6, because Japan became semi-empire in East Asia. And in that moment, the Faculty of Law and Policy, Hogakubu, became the king of all faculties. Because from late 19th century, development and new knowledge and engineering is the most important things. But early 20th century, from 1900 to 1920, the management and administration became most important. So the many imperial university, Hogakubu, the Faculty of Law, became the top of all the order of this university system. But after the 1930s, in war period, again, the Faculty of Engineering became, or they strengthened very much because of the war. So many, research institute and many new faculty and department was established in war period. So the university was expanded in 1930s and 1940s. And this tendency continued even after the war in rapid economic growth period. Because still in 1960 especially, the economic development was most important for Japan. So the number of the faculties and the students in the development of engineering and natural science increased, especially in the national university, Kokuritsu Daigaku. But private university was quite different situation. In case of private university, I need to remind you that the number of the university expanded after the war. Because in 1945, in Japan, there were only 48 universities at all. Now, we have 780 universities. So the number of the university expanded almost to 19 or 18 or 19 times in these 60 or 70 years. Huge. And most of the university which was newly established after the war were private university. in case of private university, because if you want to establish the faculty of engineering and the big engineering faculty, you need to spend a big money because the faculty of engineering needs a big infrastructure. So this is necessary. But in case of the humanities and social science, if you recruit some of the good professors, that's enough. Maybe you need a library, and you need the professors, and you need a classroom, but it is cheap compared with a big machine. So private university want to establish the humanities and social science for the department. And in order to keep their students, private university did not want the national university's expansion in the field of humanities and social science. That is a political balance. So from private university, they push the government not to allow the national university build the new faculty of humanities and social science. So roughly speaking, after the 1960s, the Japanese government want to expand the faculty of engineering and natural science in national university, and faculty or department of humanities and social science in private university. That was more cheaper. So that kind of results. So in case of national university, the natural science and engineering was expanded even after the 1960s. And the social science and humanities could not expand because if they tried to expand, the private university opposed that kind of the tendency. Because this is our territory. Private university want to keep the students. And national university, because of that kind of things happen. So all of this process, even before the neoliberalism, between engineering, natural science, and social science, there was a kind of imbalance before that. And after the 1990 and 2000, the Japanese university semi-corporatized, or hojinka, semi-privatized, or corporatization. So in this process, the natural science and engineering can get the big funding more easily if you compare with humanities and social. It is not easy for humanities and social science to get big funding. So the balance expanded much more. The criticism against this tendency was already exist in 2001 because the National Academy of Japan, Japanese National Academy, already criticized against this tendency in 2001 because the relationship between the humanities, social science, and natural science is not two-dimensional or not dichotomic. They said we need to find out a collaborative and more, collaborative relationship between two different areas more productively. So they said they need to find out a way to integrate in productivity between natural science and engineering and the social science and humanities. That kind of discussion was already done in 2001. So everything was already exist, in 2001. So the first half of my discussion is like this. So first of all, I showed you that the abolition of the humanities and social science, that kind of the discussion was, propagated by mass media, not by Ministry of Education, more by mass media, newspapers and magazine and journalism. Because as I already explained, the Ministry of Education never they didn't suddenly, announce that kind of discussion. That kind of discussion was already started 2001. But, and the same thing, they only do the same thing in 2015. But mass media, pick up the issue in the political situation in 2015. So, imbalance between the natural science and the social and humanities was already started much before the 2010s and 2015. It was already started at least early 2000, but in some sense it was already started from post-war era, throughout the post-war era. And finally, but I want to move the final discussion, the most important discussion, because the opposition against this kind of the imbalance and opposition against Ministry of Education, many faculty and many people emphasize that. Many academics emphasize that. Yes, the humanity and social science are not useful. But even if we are not useful, we are useless, we need to exist. We have a value to exist. But as I already explained, I want to oppose. I want to fight against this kind of discussion because I cannot agree with this kind of discussion. So I will explain this. Too much Japanese word. Because this is one example. So point is, what is useful and what is useless? What is useful and what is useless? Because I say first, many usefulness need not to be because there's many different types of usefulness. First, the usefulness is for whom it is useful. And it is not only important. Okay, I will explain. I will explain in different way. I think in order to understand, in order to explain why I want to oppose such kind of the discussion, because I think we need to explain the meaning of useful or useless in more detail. And I think there's two different types of usefulness. First, of course, if you have already purpose clearly, so instrumental usefulness is because if you have a purpose clearly, so you need to find out the most efficient way to pursue and to fulfill the purpose. This kind of the usefulness is, I think, instrumental usefulness. But I think there's another kind of the usefulness. That kind of usefulness is basically the usefulness to create the purpose or value itself. I will explain because in the society that because we are living in the society of the early 21st century. So please think about what was useful in 1960s or 1950s, 1960s in the era of economic development. The value system in 1960s and value system in early 21st century that today maybe they're quite different. Because, for example, in 1960s, the people pursued that faster and higher and stronger. This is a slogan of the Tokyo Olympic game in 1964. But in early 21st century, we because it is not our value that faster, stronger, and higher. Because in 1960s, based on this kind of value, the Tokyo Expressway and the Shitokosokudoro and the Shinkansen and the subway system and big high skyscraper and development was occurred in this society. But in the early 21st century, how to say, in some sense, sustainability and we want to enjoy our life and we want to find out a more sustainable way, and slow is, in some cases, slow is better than fast. And how to say, all the value system has changed. So if you see the long time duration, the value system changed again and again. So the purpose is very clear, and if you only have one purpose, and if you need to find the most effective instrument to pursue or to fulfill the purpose, maybe engineering is the best, or natural science and engineering is the best way. But the purpose or value is much more multiple, I think. And in the history, the 30 years and 50 years, that kind of value, which was taken for granted for many people, changed in the history. So, if the one discipline or one knowledge is very useful for one purpose, but even in that case, the purpose changed, and if we do not pursue the purpose, that kind of the instrumentally useful knowledge become nothing. And in order to find out a new value system or new purpose, we need to criticize or we need to rethink about the value which is taken for granted. And we need to find out different type of value system. So the creation value or creation purpose, we need to have more knowledge and more deep knowledge and more multiple or diverse knowledge about our society and our history and our culture. Because we are inside the culture and inside the society, inside the history. So I think the second type of usefulness is usefulness to produce or to create the new value. And for this creation of new value, the knowledge of humanity and social science are necessary. Because the humanity and social science, deal with the long duration, relatively long duration. We do not, especially humanity, in order to think about the humanities, the 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, such kind of the time range is necessary. So I said the humanities social science are useful, in longer term. Roughly speaking, engineering is useful, relatively shorter term. So this is a discussion about the time range or length of the usefulness. So the collaboration between these two areas is necessary. I also, I skipped the discussion, but in the discussion last summer, many people confuse the category of liberal arts and culture, kyoyo, and general education, and common education, and skill education management. And all of this discussion is different, but I skipped this discussion. So I moved to the difference between the Bunkei and Rikei, humanity and social science. because what is different between Bunkei and Rikkei, humanity and social science, and engineering and natural science? So I want to remind you that this kind of the dichotomy or distinction is very new. We cannot go back to this distinction before the 18th century. At least it was started after the 19th century, or especially 20th century. We did not have such kind of dichotomy before 18th century. Please think about liberal arts. Liberal arts consists of grammar and rhetoric and mathematics and astronomy and music and something. So liberal arts include mathematics and astronomy and music and grammar and rhetoric. So that include Bunkei and Rikkei, both of these two. And after and this liberal arts transformed to philosophy in 70th and 18th century. So please think about Leibniz or Descartes or some of the other philosophers, because Leibniz and Descartes, they are philosophers, but at the same time they are mathematicians. Mathematics is one of the most important disciplines for them. Descartes was mathematician. Leibniz was mathematician. And they don't care because they did not do different things. Mathematics and philosophy was same thing for them. So the dichotomy between the Bunkei and Rikkei will not exist until 18th century. So the difference between the natural science and humanity and social science appeared late 19th century because of industrial revolution. In 19th century, the industry as mechanics and industry and all that kind of engineering things, the industry or industrial revolution expanded the world and changed the society very much. And natural science and engineering and the technological knowledge became more and more important because of this industrial revolution. So, important thing is humanity and social science appeared, or the people who have been doing some kind of philosophical work start to think about what was the value of their knowledge. What was the usefulness of the knowledge? And so these kind of the discussion was very, intensely discussed, the value of humanity and social science in late 19th century, at the end of 19th century and early 20th century. Most important people in those days was maybe New Kantian in Germany, including Windenbart and Rickert and also Max Weber. They focus on the value because the engineering social science adapt with industrial revolution. But academic knowledge cannot be completely, included this economic and industrial process. So the Max Weber or Rickert or Windenbart or those kind of the German people thought that what was the other, and they thought the value is most important things, and they focus on they establish some kind of the historical science or cultural science, in the end of 19th century or early 20th century. And this knowledge, this field focus on value, especially cultural value. It was quite clear in case of the Max Weber, because Max Weber focused on the value and how because his classics, the Protestant ethic and the guys of the capitalism, his work, his most famous work, focused on the ethical value of Protestant Christianity and the relationship with this kind of the ethical value with the capitalist system, as you know. So, and they tried to find out the very complicated relationship between the value system and capitalism. After the 20th century, many criticism against new Kantian or Max Weber and such kind of the late 19th century and early 20th century idea of the humanity and social science appeared, including Marxism, structuralism, post-structuralism, and other things. Because the new Kantian or the philosophers in late 19th century and early 20th century was, titled as culturalism. And their culturalism was, criticized by many different ways. In case of Marxism, because they said the value system is related with based on the economic or material system. In case of the structuralism, they maintain that value system is based on or connected with a linguistic system or semiotic system. In case of post-structuralism and post-colonialism in cultural studies, they emphasize the relationship, the value system and power relationship, gender relationship and the colonial relationship and so on. But anyway, throughout from late 19th century toward 20th century or 21st century, the humanity and social science has continuously focused on value, social value and cultural value. And this is the essential point in which, or to which, the humanity and social science insist on. If the value system is only one and never change, maybe the humanity and social science can be banished. Because if in some cases, totalitarian society or completely neoliberal society, market mechanism, if the value system cannot change forever, we need not to think about a new value and we need not to criticize against value because to get more money or to produce more commodity and to develop the technology and so on. So this value system can change, and the purpose is only one. If all things we need to think about is instrument for the purpose, maybe everyone can be engineer and everyone can be the humanity social science might be not so necessary. But I think it is not real. Value system can change. And there are many different types of possibility for new value system. And humanity and social science continuously focus on the different type of the value creation and different type of the, different possibility of the value. We are living in the society in which many of the ordinary people takes for granted many people, for many of the people, the major and hegemonic and dominant value system are self-evident. But if you learn the social science and the humanity and social science, you can understand this was completely not self-evident at all. You can think about some of the other possibilities throughout the criticizing this kind of self-evident value. That is why the humanity and social science are necessary to exist. And this is exactly why I want to And I want to maintain that humanity and social science are useful for new value, for creating, criticizing the self-evident value, and at the same time creating new value. That cannot be done only by natural science and engineering. So we need to insist on this possibility. So finally, I want to say that the humanity and social science should exist. That I want to against the idea that the humanity and social science should exist, even if it is not useful. I don't think that it's like that. I think humanity and social science should exist because they are useful in long history. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Yoshimi, for sharing with us your insight on these quite complex issues. We have about 20 to 30 minutes left for questions and answers, so please feel free. Or Jean-Michel, maybe? Can you speak with the...
I just want to go back to the relationship between universities and government now. Because I think, as you say, that the universities are forced, or at least national universities were forced to autonomy in 2004. And they have to follow a plan, a government plan.
Yeah.
It's like 6 years plan, I think.
Yeah.
2004,
yeah.
2010, 2006,
yeah.
16.
Yeah.
So, 16. And so there's probably a relationship between, I think, the debates last summer and this plan. And I don't know so much about the new plan, but I've heard that university will be... we will have 3 levels of university, I think. World level, national level, and local level.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about this plan and what should be the effect on the national universities?
Thank you very much. Very good question. Thank you very much. Very good question. I'm working in national university, so let me express my personal feeling. After 2004, it is said that Japanese national university were semi-corporatized or semi-privatized, and they follow to the 6-year plan, every 6-year plan. But after the 2004, after the corporatization of the national university, my impression is this 6-year plan is very similar with Soviet Union in the Stalin time, Soviet Union, because every 6 year we declared, we set our own purpose, and in a document in very detail. And after 6 years, we need to report how much we succeeded, how much we complete the purpose. But the university professors are not so stupid, so we know how much we can. And if you show or if you write too challenging purpose, maybe it is very it might be very dangerous. Because after 6 years, okay, this is very good purpose, but you cannot complete the purpose, and so 60% or 70% is not good. Because we need to show we complete 90% or 85% or 95%. So we write relatively low, not challenging purpose, because we can foresee the future. So all the process done within the document. Nothing to do with the real academic project in the real world. Everything because after the 2004 we are calculated or evaluated by the government based on this document. So we can manipulate all the university because the document is we are very good at writing document. University professor are very good at writing document. I do not mean, it doesn't mean we are very good at the challenging research. It doesn't mean that. We are writing the document and so the university professors spent a lot of time to make the document and some kind of the consistency within the document. So this is some kind of I don't know about the last days of the Soviet Union, but the huge bureaucracy, big bureaucracy is something similar, I suppose, because everything was done within the very, well-designed document. The reality is different things, but within the document, everything is okay, because the bureaucrat only see the document. And we produce the document, and they watch the document, and everything is okay. Before Chernobyl. Or before Fukushima. Okay. So that kind of thing is happening. What was the
about the three different
yeah.
Global, national, local.
Yeah. But in reality, all the national university currently are very poor. We don't have money at all. Money and budget is rapidly shrinking. Every year, the national budget of the government decrease 1%. That means in 10 years, 10%. In 20 years, 20%. 100 after, every university, not only humanities and social science, but also every national university disappear. So, budget is issue. And even the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Education does not have a big budget. Because the governmental budget is now shrinking, and because many budget would be because Japan is very aged society, and the economic power is decreasing. So the national budget itself is shrinking, and especially the budget for the university itself is shrinking. So it is not easy to spend a lot of money for the university, even if the government want to do that. Maybe they do not want to do that, but even if they would spend. They would like to spend more money, but they can't. So the based on the policy, they differentiate three different types of university. One is global, one is special, one is local. And this kind of policy was already started from 2013 or a little bit before that. It was not 2015. It's several years before that. But I really wonder because you need to see the budget flow, because what was because university organizer they only think about what is more in which category we can get more budget. Only the money is important from that sense. And the total amount of the budget was not so big. So the three category was officially very clearly showed. And the Ministry of Education want to pursue the differentiation of these three categories. But Ministry of Finance is more powerful than Ministry of Education. And they do not want to spend educational budget itself. So I think that kind of three categories, I don't know how much that's so effective. Because if budget is same, it is nothing, almost. So the American system is quite different because donation is more important, and the Princeton and the Stanford and MIT and Harvard, they're very rich, but their Japanese national university is very complicated because state control, governmental control is still very strong, and private and the donation system cannot work well in Japan. So what we can do is that, and we don't have so private university is much more easy to get money because they can get the more entrance fee, entrance exam, they can get a lot of money. And so when we think about a university education, we need to, the governmental policy, we need to think about the budget system at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm not so sure.
Yes. You have another question? Please.
Yeah. And it seems difference between, I would like to know the difference between Japanese university system and, for example, the German university system. I think really, I listening to you, always the word or the usefulness. Then when you work or make research at university in Japan, you cannot be free, really. But historically speaking, in Europe, those who made a great, promoted progress, there is a religious difference between the government and the university professors, but it seems in Japan there is no tension. Professors are bureaucrats, and bureaucrats dominate the university system, and you cannot, and even private universities, they receive money from the nation. So those who graduated from Tokyo University, they come to teach at private university, and all over Japan, it's very no liberty. So the only 2 universities among 100 best universities in Japan, in the world. I understand, because if you have no freedom, so always useful. And what is useful is already proved by others, so it cannot be very unique. So you cannot increase the level of the university in such a condition. So I think very pessimistic with the future about the future of Japan. Everywhere dominated by bureaucrats. Bureaucrats, they don't know how to do because they did not make this research when they were students. So
let me explain the difference between the European university and Japanese university, especially the medieval universities. Because who was the most useful, which was the most useful faculties in medieval European universities? Most useful faculties, people believed in those days, in medieval European society was the faculty of theology. 神学部. Everyone believed that the faculty of theology was most useful because it was a usefulness for God. God is most purpose of the society. So more than law, more than medicine, because the value system in medieval society, in European society, Christianity was most important. And the university emerged in this society. So, and in the medieval European society, Christianity means, how to say, universality. So universality and Christianity and the universality of God and the universality of university was the same in medieval European university. I skipped the history of the European. I wrote in my book about that. But the problem in Japan is because imperial university was established for the state from Meiji era. I declare that the universality of the university should not only for the state. University need to go beyond the state or government, but different from the Christianity. So, the most important question of the university value was for what? For what kind of the value, or for what kind of the university devote, or for what kind of the university exists? Because universality is most important value for the university. So I think in the 21st global society, the universality is quite different from the universality in the nation state, or different from the religion. So we need to find out this kind of the universality in the 21st century. So if we think about that kind of the universality, when I maintain about the usefulness is the relationship between the usefulness, the knowledge, and universality of the global society. So that kind of this I did, and because otherwise we cannot maintain, or we cannot protect the value of humanity social science outside of this kind of the social values and universality.
Yes, David. Yeah.
Hello, thank you for your nice presentation. My name is David Malinas. I'm the attaché for university cooperation at the French Embassy, and I was previously teaching in a French university. My question would be about the difference between, you gave us the history from 2001 regarding the demand of the government to reduce the number of teachers or faculty of education, and I thought when I saw the 2015 or 2014 Tsuchi notice that for the first time was included faculty of humanities and social sciences. Before it was not included. What you showed us in 2001, what was asked by the ministry was only for the faculty of education, and that makes sense somehow with the population that is shrinking. But what was new in 2014 and 2015 was this inclusion of new faculties, and I was wondering if you had some information regarding this new inclusion of faculty that were not an issue until that day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A good question. In my impression that yes, you're right, because in 2001 the Ministry of Education required the change of the faculty of education, but in 2014 or 13 the change of the humanities and social science were included. So I suppose some kind of irritation, or some kind of the irritation, or because after 2004 the other type of the faculty has changed a lot. Engineering and natural science and relatively speaking, many different type of the faculty has changed. But especially in case of the national university, private university has changed a lot, too much changed. And but in case of national university, faculty of letters, bungakubu, or faculty of economics and law and not only education, did not change at all. So, because the situation is stable very much. Now, that is quite natural because if you are already professor in a faculty of law or faculty of letters, you can survive with your book, basically. You don't need, in order to write an article, you don't need, you don't need get big budget at all. If you, you can stay here. The young faculty has a problem because the number of the faculty is shrinking, and in terms of budget, in many ways, the faculty of humanities and social sciences have many difficulties. So from young faculty or young students, PhD students and postdoc students, they need to make another type of the organization, or they need to change the system. But in case of the established professors, if you're established professors, even if the budget cut it, you can keep your position. Positions are quite stable in national university, even the private university. Professorship is very stable. If you already get professorship, it is very stable. So, has a very small change has occurred after 2004 or 2001. So all the other world are changing, but very few change in this field. So maybe Ministry of Education are very much a little bit irritated this kind of situation because it was quite clear because everything is shrinking. So why you do not try to change the situation? Why you do not fight against engineering and natural science? That maybe I suppose this is a question of the ministry because they want to make the faculty of humanity and social science more aggressive against the industry and engineering and other field in order to empower the faculty of the humanity and social science. Because otherwise, in this difficult situation, if the faculty of social science, humanity and social science do nothing, if they only want to keep the tradition and already established field, maybe it is not because oppression by Ministry of Education, but because of the social change and the historical process, these faculty cannot survive. So, in order to empower the humanity and social science, some kind of change are necessary. This is the idea, maybe, I don't know, but this is some kind of idea of the Ministry of Education and some kind of the idea of by some kind of people. And so they want to push the Faculty of Social Science and Humanity to change by themselves. So, in order to do that, the integration or collaboration with engineering and natural science might be necessary, because think about the environmental science, think about the the medical science and environmental science and information science and global studies and peace building and global health and think about in many fields, in many new fields in global society, the collaboration between the humanities, social science and engineering and the medical science and these kinds of collaboration are necessary. But currently, the faculty of this humanities and Bungakubu and Hogakubu are not so, positive or are not so flexible to change themselves. So pushing them to change. So some kinds of pushing might be necessary, they thought, maybe. So the situation is quite complicated because I think it is not good idea to empower or to push the funding or to push the budget or to push the position to the already established faculty of humanities and social science. Because if they do that, they can keep already established stable system in next 10 or 20 years. But the necessity is, in order to really empower the humanities and social science, so I think some kind of change is necessary, even for them. So the situation is very much complicated.
And in that, is it that only a problem in national universities, or do the private universities, social sciences and humanities departments, are they performing better?
Yeah.
In that,
basically same.
Oh, same.
Basically same. But in case of private university, mainly they can get more money from students and entrance exam and the entrance fee. So the economic system might be a little bit different, and budget system is a little bit different. But because of that, the private university are more market oriented because they want to recruit more students and they want to recruit more applicant to the entrance exam.
So what do they tell to the social science and humanities students so that they come to
so they should.
How do they sell humanities?
I skipped the discussion, but I will show how to say the expansion of the name of the department in private university, because until 1990s only the number of the title of the department in national but also especially private university, the total number of the title of the gakubu, the department, was 97 in 1990s, but the number of the department, the title of the department expanded to 145 in 1995 and 235 in 2000 and 360 in 2005 and 435 in 2010. So the number of the title, including bioscience, rehabilitation gakubu, life design gakubu, hospitality tourism gakubu, and city life gakubu, manga gakubu, gendai life gakubu, popular culture gakubu, animation bunka gakubu, blah 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 blah. Because this is the same as beer. Asahi, Super Dry, and many different type of the beer. So you can go to the shopping mall or supermarket, and you can pick up a very tasty beer or tasty department, and you can pick, because this is completely the logic of the commoditification. So the risk of the private university is like this, because they can, in order to survive, their faculty and the students, they make themselves commodified. Commodification of themselves is another type of risk for private university. In case of the national university, because the budget comes from government, basically, so how to say, too much conservative status quo is a risk for the national university. But the private university, the commodification of themselves is another risk. So we want to make sure what is the destination of the academic knowledge and university knowledge. So universality, the value of the universal value of what is it, because the major purpose is the deepest and universal value creation is most important thing of the university, I believe. So this is different from the national university, but this is another type of the risk.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. It's about time to finish. I'm sorry, it's already 2 o'clock, so if you have time for discussion, maybe in private after with Professor Yoshimi.
Yeah, I'm welcome.
And well, we'll close for now this lunch seminar. I'll just remind you the next seminar on March 18, maybe you have the flyer here. We'll be talking about how China became rich. A very interesting subject. Thank you for coming and see you next month. Thank you very much.